Welcome to Action Research Lesson 8. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about writing a literature review. So remember, we described the parts of a research paper. We have an abstract, introduction, literature review, methodology, findings, results, discussion, and conclusion. So we are not going to discuss everything on this list today, but we just want to talk about the literature review. So what is a literature review? It's a survey of scholarly sources that provide an overview of a particular topic. So literature reviews are a collection of the most relevant and significant publications regarding that topic in order to provide a comprehensive look at what has been said on the topic and by who. So the basic components of a literature review includes a description of the publication, reference to the author's credentials, a summary of the publication's main points, and an evaluation of the publication's contribution to the topic. So a literature review is not a report that summarizes articles or books about different topics. A research paper, a list of important research presented chronologically. No. But a literature review is a survey of scholarly articles, books, and journals relevant to your narrowed topic. Provide a description, a summary, and critical evaluation of each scholarly work. Provide an overview of the significant literature published on your topic. Okay, so this one, when you have time, you just check the PPT. You read it. It will show you what isn't a literature review and what is a literature review. So take your time to read this one. Okay, so purpose of the literature review is to explain the historical background of your topic, to describe and compare the schools of thought on an issue, synthesize the available research, highlight and critique research methods, note areas of disagreement, highlight gaps in the existing research, justify the topic you plan to investigate. Steps to writing a literature review. Number 1, you do problem formulation. So you ask yourself which topic or field is being examined and what are its component issues. Then number 2, literature search. You find materials relevant to that subject being explored. Number 3, data evaluation. You determine which literature makes a significant contribution to the understanding of the topic. Analysis and interpretation. Discuss the findings and conclusion of pertinent literature. So these are the steps you are supposed to do in writing a literature review. Then questions you can ask yourself is, has the author clearly defined the problem or the issue? Could the problem have been approached more effectively from a different perspective? Does the author show bias? What is the author's theoretical approach? How good is the study design? How valid are the results? Are there flaws in the logic of discussion? How does the work contribute to the discipline's understanding of the problem? What problems has the author avoided or ignored? So those are the questions you can ask yourself when you are writing the literature review. So which direction do you want your literature review to point out? So this table now can help you to find a direction to your literature review. So like here A, you see evidence of effects. Maybe you want to show evidence of effects on a certain problem. Number 2, maybe you just want to map out the state of the knowledge which exists. Number 2, maybe you want to develop a theory. Then another one, maybe you want to guide future research. So it depends on what you want to do. You are the one to select your direction for the literature review here using this table. Okay. So there are 3 types of organizing your literature review. So we have chronological, thematic, or methodological. So chronological, you organize by publication date and history of the topic. So use this type if sequential order of events is important. Maybe you wanted to know when something started and how it has improved over time. So you can use this chronological type of literature review. Then the second is thematic. It's organized by topic or issue. May still involve chronology and an order of importance. Then how do you use? You use this type to go from general topic to more specific. So for example, maybe you say you talk of time management in students, in tertiary students. So when you are writing your literature review, you start from general topics like time management. What is time management? You can have a subtopic like time management. Then after having the topic of time management, you move down to tertiary students. What are they? You have to describe about tertiary students. And then the third paragraph now, or the third topic, you now combine the two, time management and tertiary students. Now you want to link the two. So you can do that thematic. Then if you don't want thematic, you can do this third type called the methodological type of literature review. So it's organized not by the content of the literature review, but on the methods of the researchers. So you use this type if you want to talk about maybe the methods which were used and how they help, or how they have a gap. Maybe you want to expose the gap in the methods which were used before. Okay. So general structure of a literature review is this. You start with an introduction. So introduction, keep it brief, introduce the larger subject, narrow the larger subject into manageable topic, explain the significance of the topic, formulate research questions, explain the scope of your coverage, lay out the organization of the review. Then the body now you can have some background information, like you define some concepts. You also talk maybe the history of that problem. After that, you group the research according to themes if you want, or according to methods or trends or approaches. Then you summarize the individual items with as much detail as merited. You put some citations, description of literature, point out some gaps which you notice or inconsistencies in the findings. Then conclusion is the last part. You summarize the major contributions of certain study and articles to the body of knowledge under review. Then you point out any gaps in the published literature and discuss areas or issues pertinent to the future study. Okay, so remember we say you start with an introduction. After introduction comes the body, then conclusion. Then if you don't understand, maybe you can look at this slide. This slide is saying how to structure your literature review. So organize according to topic or themes. Provide context by defining the problem or introducing the problem. Identify trends in publications, problems in research, conflicting theories. Establish your purpose in reviewing the literature review. Group the studies. You can bunch, after doing your literature research, you find a lot of papers. So what you do, these papers, you group them according to their similarities. If there are papers talking about one concept, you put them on the other side. Then other papers which are differing from that other concept, you put them on the other side, so that it's easy for you to identify them when you are doing your discussion. Summarize individual studies, summarize major school of thoughts, evaluate the current body of knowledge, conclude. So you see, this is similar to what we said earlier. Then how to transition ideas during the writing of your literature review. So transition help to connect paragraphs together. For example, you can say one of the first researcher to investigate this problem was Chen. Then you say Chen and John counter Chen's argument, so. Or we can say the issue becomes more complex when a third school of thought is considered, so. Or one researcher who agrees with Chen is saying so. So you take your time to read this, how to transition your ideas during the writing of the literature review. Then also, while you are writing, you need to keep adding citations to every statement which you write. So you can use these are citation managers. So there's Mendeley, there's EndNote, there's Zotero, there's Jabref. But for me, maybe I would recommend Mendeley or Zotero. And then if you want help to know how it can be installed and set up in your computer, you can come and then I will show you even how to use them. Then choices of words you can use. So when you are writing a literature review, you need to also use some English. There's some English which is neutral. There's also some English which is argumentative. Some English which is disagreeing. So for example, there's some neutral words you can use, like this author commented, or this paper described, this paper illustrates, this paper notes, this paper observe, this paper points out. So these are neutral. Then if you want to be argumentative, you can say Smith contends that, or Smith defends that, or Smith maintains that, or Smith insists that, Smith disputes that. Or you can say when the authors they are disagreeing, you can say disparage, bemoan, complain, lament, warn. So you are the one to know what you want to write. You can look at this table and it will guide you. Okay, so sources to use in your literature review, you can use primary sources, you can use secondary, you can use tertiary sources. So primary sources, they are reports, thesis, emails, conference proceedings, so forth. Secondary sources are books, journals, newspapers. Tertiary, now there's index, abstracts, catalogs, encyclopedia, dictionary, bibliography, and so forth. It all depends on you, what you want. So if you didn't understand, you can check these references which I've put for you. You click them and you get information in the way you can digest it. So thanks for attending this lesson. Don't forget to write your assignment also. Then we meet next time. Bye.